Hello and welcome to the third session of this Q&A series for any percent NMG. Everyone's doing well. Feel free to fire out any questions you may have. As per usual, if you guys don't have anything specific you want to know about, I do have a few things to talk about. Hopefully we'll have some questions. Hopefully you'll have some people in voice and chat. We'll be able to fill in the gaps of my knowledge. Yeah, with that said, feel free to fire away. What's up, Fricker? Congrats on your PB, dude. Yo, thanks. Yo, Cranston, thank you so much for that host. Appreciate that, dude. Hope your stream went well. Welcome, viewers of Cranston. If you have any questions about the any percent NMG speedrun, feel free to drop them here in chat. This is kind of... the purpose of this is mostly to help people prepare for the upcoming tournament that we're having, starting at the end of March. Yo, TB. It sure went well. Okay, well, that's better than it not going, right? Sometimes. This was actually the first thing I wanted to talk about if there weren't any specific questions, so. I did actually want to show that there are completely boomless strats that you can do in Hera. You never have to even menu to the boomerang at all. And with my testing, I found that it's pretty much just as fast, if not faster. Yo, TB Ham with the subscription.
What's up with me, TB?
Yo, what's up? 9 months in a row, dude. Holy crap. Congrats on your Twitch baby. Whose laugh is that? I don't know. That's I actually watched the video of how they made that song, and apparently it was just some random voice chat, not unlike our own, where some dude was just laughing, and they decided to sample it for that song. But anyway, let's talk about boomless strats in Hera. Like I said, this is pretty much just as fast, and by my testing it was like 15 frames faster. Like you know, with everything being pretty good, like not definitely the most optimal you can do it, but this is also assuming that you don't do the tile room boom dash. So the first room is just normal. Go over here, go down these stairs to get this first key. Nothing changes until you mirror back for the first time here. So normally you would walk up here, you know, change to the boom and hit this switch, blah blah blah. But you can actually just do the low percent strat here, which is just walk up, hit this switch, walk left, hit this switch, and dash straight up. Which isn't bad at all. The thing I like about this is that I just feel like the chances of grossly failing this and losing a bunch of time with it are far less than any of the boom strats. And this room can be pretty fast, like it's really not that far off of an actually good room. So the tile room also changes a little bit, but not really that much. Depending on what strats you've been doing before, I don't know like how heavily been favoring the boomerang, but my strat right now is just come down here, hit the switch with this pot, get this pot out of the way, and then I just sit right here and I just poke dash every single tile that comes at me. And then I think it's either the fourth to last or third to last tile. Whenever that one comes, I just release my spin, pick up this pot on the right here, walk to the door, and throw the pot at the very last tile that shows up. Which kind of replaces what your boom is kind of achieving in this room when you kill the last tile. So this tile right here, well, I'm pretty sure this is the third to last then. This is the one where I release my spin, pick up the pot here, walk up here, throw it at this guy, and good to go. And that's the tile room. I'm definitely not doing that again, so if you absolutely have to see that done again, please just go back and watch the VOD. But this room does change a little bit also, but the thing I like about this is that you can use your menu buffer right here to change to lamp. And you can kind of judge what the many moldarms are going to be doing. Because what you need to do in this room is slash the crystal switch instead of throwing the boomerang at it. So I like walking up right here, pretty much right until you're below the switch, where you can just do a quick like up and B and slash it. And pausing right there to judge what this guy's going to do. If you see that he's going to like ruin your day, as he is wont to do, just slash him. And slash him again after the crystal cutscene if you absolutely have to. You kind of get two buffers here a little bit with the crystal cutscene. Not really a cutscene, it's just like lag frames where you can't actually input anything. But yeah, it's like one extra move in the menu, but it's really not that bad. And like I said, with my testing, this ended up being 15 frames faster for me. I encourage people to, if they're particularly struggling with the boom strats in Hera, the lobby boom can be a little rough sometimes. I would recommend testing this out and see how you like it. Alright, any questions? Please don't be shy. Ask away. Yeah, Cranston, it's super easy. I'm gonna do it in my runs now. Do you have any tips for avoiding damage during tree rupees? Yes. With the preface that tree rupees on average really only saves like 3 to 4 seconds, so if you find that you're taking damage a lot and you're struggling with how to actually accomplish tree rupees without having to do any of the backups, just take Saha rupees. It's really not that much slower. But yeah, I can show just a few tips, like the safe and easy way of doing tree rupees. And then we'll get to these other questions too. I'm not like ignoring any of them, but we'll try to get to pretty much everything that you asked. So. Mire Spike Key, that's a good one. I'll definitely go over that. Let's check out rupees. First rupee tree. Okay, so the screen does change a little bit depending on how many blue rupees you need to collect. But the safest and easiest way to do this, pull this tree, let's say you only need 2, go to the right of the tree, and the first enemy that you're going to kill is actually a crab that's under these bushes here. So this path, it avoids 2 potential pitfalls of tree rupees that people sometimes run into almost immediately. Which is, I think everyone sees people do this bird dash here, which, I mean, it's not that tough, but it can still, like, stuff can go wrong. Like, it's not 100%. And the other thing is obviously dealing with this pickle over here, so my advice is to just not even take that route at all. Just come to the right of the tree here. And so, like I said, the first enemy you kill is this crab right here. Yes, the hitbox on the lumberjacks is gigantic for some reason, so make sure you walk a good distance past them before you start. The thing about this screen is you want to make sure you transition higher rather than lower. Jumbo jacks, yeah, dude. Because if you transition too low, there's a chance that if you're trying to dash through this bird, you're going to kill him off screen, which won't actually advance your kill count for true rupees. So try to transition a little higher here. So yeah, getting this bird dash is not trivial. Like, you have to be pretty on point, and then if you're like offline at all, you're going to end up bonking or having to like start a dash again. So something you can kind of do is after you hit him with your dash this first time, face down and slash and hold your sword and just poke him to finish him off. And so that actually accomplishes a few things. First of all, it's safe and easy. And second of all, you potentially get an arrow drop depending on where you are in this prize pack. That's just a safe and easy way to make sure you take care of this bird here. Instead of trying to go for the bird dash, which can fail in a number of ways. Like, you can either fail the dash yourself and like end up getting hit by the bird, or you can kill him off screen and then it's not going to count for your kills. So I mean, the bird before that, coming into Master Sword, really all that is just, it's good movement. You have to be good at canceling your dashes and starting another one pretty instantaneously. So, there's not much I can tell you for that. But coming out of here, there are a few backups in case like stuff goes wrong. Like if you miss this bird over here, which can sometimes happen. The safe and easy strat, in my opinion, is come up here and just slash down like that, but a little lower than I was, so you actually kill him. But in case you do miss him, come through here, and if you have sword beams, you can kill this bush crab from right here. Oh yeah, that was actually something I was going to. It was on my list of tiny tips, but yeah, you can grab the Master Sword from super high up, from way far away. Hey, what's up, Deeps? How's it going, man?
I was just gonna say, if you don't have sword beams for that crab, you don't need to worry about killing him anyway. So.
Good point. Touche. Yeah, because if you get hit, obviously that screws up the whole true rupee thing.
Well, I guess you could lose hearts before you get to the first rupee tree pull, but in which case, I guess what you could do is just go kill him, like go up to him and kill him.
Yeah. You'd have to end up doing that.
Yeah.
So that's how far away you can pull the Master Sword, like nice healthy gap between Link and the actual pedestal. Road in space. That's so good. Getting ghosted. So hopefully that helps with the whole not taking damage during tree rupees thing. But like I said, on average this only saves like 3 to 4 seconds. So if you're struggling with it, just don't worry about it for now. Just continue taking the rupees behind Zaha. But if you're adamant, more power to you. Don't begrudge anyone who wants to go for particular strats if that's what they want to do.
If you're real cool, you'll go for the dash strat through that bird, but you know, don't recommend it.
Okay, let's go back to Mire Spike Key.
Oh, spike skip?
Nope.
Ah, okay.
It did have the word spike in it though, so.
Alright.
You're not too far off.
Trying my best.
Alright, so the easy strat for this room does not involve the hookshot at all. So if you're using it, that may be one mistake you're making on it. So normally...
Oh yeah, you yelled at me for that the other day, whatever.
So normally you dash into this room, right? So your sword's already going to be out. So all you do, the very first part of this room, you just hold right. Literally all you do. And this is always going to get that Stalfos away. If you don't kill him, he'll jump back. So now what you need to do is, before you get to the pot, is just do a quick upright to get there. and then your iframes will run out just in time for you to be on the switch. You really don't even have to, you don't have to stop at all. Make sure you walk to the right of that thing. Don't go to the left of it. That's silly.
Yeah, people used to do that. What? Like, why?
Flash those guys out of your way if you really have to. If you don't feel comfortable, like, with your current health level, just flash them out of the way, man. Use the big pointy thing that you're carrying around. Yeah, this strat is just super easy.
How many frames faster is this for you versus hookshotting?
Again, for me, it's not always about being faster. Like, I'm not always going for the absolute fastest room time or anything with my RTA strats. It's about what's going to be more consistent for me.
No, I understand that. I thought you said it was faster to not hookshot. Or is it like the same?
I think it can be faster to hookshot.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's just it's tougher.
Yeah.
You have more chance of screwing it up than doing this strat.
I don't have to count to know I'm worth a billion. You know what bigger number? I am worth a gillion.
Yo, Mutt, dropping the bits. Nice badge, dude. Can I take 9 back? Yeah, I'll give you a refund. For all just the count in the bot. Okay. Fricker, does that help with Mire Spike Key? Does everyone know the backup in case you don't want to do this key? Like if you just absolutely don't want to take any more damage? I don't think we need to talk about this, but there's another key you can get. And all you have to, the only damage you'll take is just getting shot twice on the way there. 3 times, sorry. Yeah, you can grab this key. That guy was on point.
Dude, sniped.
Oh, sorry about the OOT music. Okay, let's see. Did we miss any questions after the Mire Spike Key?
Budma.
Told you, man. He's the star of the show.
Can't handle it.
All right. Any more questions? That's so good, isn't it? I love how he came into the voice call just to do that.
What a guy.
Is that your proper name? Buttatron? Butma for short? Any questions, but related or not? Okay. There are no questions. Here's something I wanted to show. There a consistent trick or rhythm to the 4th phase of Ganon. Alright, let me show this real quick, Lanxion, and then I'll do my best to answer that. So we went over this fence dash last time, that's not what I want to show. The thing I want to show is this. So, something I see a lot is people dashing up through this castle gate in kind of weird spots. Like I'll see some people go through the middle, some people go like slightly off left of center, some people go like all the way to the right. There are two spots that you really want to do this from. The first is if you nudge on the castle gate at all, you're gonna be fine. And then the other spot is if you don't nudge at all, but you're pretty much directly aligned with the gate itself. So those two spots are totally fine to start your dash from. And the reason that I would like you to start your dash here is because you never have to worry about those two guards that are in the middle ever hitting you. So it's really better to do this. Make sure you maintain your sword beam for Ragged Tower. It is better to nudge. Indeed. It's better to nudge. So yeah. If you dash from any other position, you risk getting screwed over by those guys. And I think I heard something actually, if you nudge on this top row of bushes here, it puts you in a particular lineup to where you stop your dash on a good frame, I'm pretty sure. Like that's a bad one, but the next one would have gotten me past. So I think that's another like free sort of lineup thing you can get. Just to increase your chances of stopping on a frame where you know you're going to be good to dash up.
Yeah, that makes sense because tiles are a multiple of dash frames or pixels. Dash pixels per frame.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Let's talk about phase 4 again. For getting 3 hits in a cycle. Okay. So, the thing you need to understand about that is that your window to spin him depends on when you light the torch. It's the hot new deep tech dash pixel frames.
Specifically, what he's doing, or like, yeah, basically, how long after you've lit the torch after he shoots his fire bat. Oh, that was a good strat.
I thought so. Gotta start the session off with a hug.
Just get Ganon all buttered up. You like going on the inside, huh? You're a big inside guy.
Do it for all 4 RNGs. Life on the inside.
I just never practiced all the inside ones. I practiced like 2 of them, I think. Gotta do that. Gotta do it.
Inside guy in the click. Alright, so everyone knows about this free spin, hopefully. We did talk about it last time, but in case you don't. After you hit him for the last time, transitioning from phase 3 to phase 4, make sure you charge another spin, and then release it during the cutscene / text box that comes up. Alright, so right there, you saw that I lit the torch pretty much immediately after he landed, which means I now have a huge window to actually get up there and release my spin. So what you want to do is pretty much light immediately after you see Ganon land on one side or the other. Not before, but just right after. And this gives you the most window of time to actually get all 3 spins in for the phase. Right there was a little bit later than the last time, so I now have a smaller window of frames to actually charge a spin and get it off. I'm not actually sure if I can, given how late I actually lit this, but yeah. So that's why I say it's probably like the most important aspect of getting 3 hits every phase.
Something to note is that if you light the torch before he actually reaches his location, he will shoot a fire bat. So the reason you want to light it in that timing that was just explained is that he's in position already, and it's before he shot the fire bat.
It's tough. Like it's definitely not like free on every single pattern that you get either.
Yeah.
It
So
requires a lot of practice, and it also you can't always necessarily light from the bottom row every single time and get to him. Like sometimes it makes more sense to go above and to the left of the torch. It just takes a lot of practice and like just getting used to the timing, especially when you're far away from the torch. Like when you're right up against it, it's really easy to get the timing down, but when you're different distances away from the torch, you're gonna have to just play with that timing and making sure that you light as soon after the point at which he lands.
Yeah, because if you light before he lands, then he does the bat animation, and actually you can't get 3 hits in that cycle of the torch being lit.
That's a good point too. That's something else that I see a lot of people doing is if they do end up lighting late, they still try to go for 3 hits, but you should always know that if you're lighting too late there, you can only ever get 2 spins in. So you're only putting yourself in more danger if you try to go for 3. That's a very good point to bring up. That's just outright too late. So that happens during this transition if he's going to warp to the same position. So he was going to warp to the same spot there, which is what froze. Which isn't a big deal because usually when he freezes, the timing works out in such that when you light the torch for the torch glitch, as long as you're in a reasonable spot and he warps to a reasonable spot, you can usually get 3 spins off after the first lighting on torch glitch itself. But this RNG, I think I was actually too slow.
That's almost better even. I mean, if you have the timing right, and you can do that.
It can be. And it kind of works out the same way.
If you do get the first spin off, then it's kind of like awkward lining up the cycles after that.
Yeah. Let's see, I went too soon there, and so that's exactly what Deebs just said. He'll shoot that fire bat. So yeah, hopefully that helps, but it takes a ton of practice, dude. All I can say, but it does get really easy in the end. Like after you practice it a bunch, it almost just becomes. You can almost just do it in your sleep. It's really fun.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through the game, like practicing, like start to finish. I spent multiple days on Ganon.
Yeah.
So it just takes a long time to just get the timing down and learn all the little tricks and like the little timings.
Yeah, like Emma said, you want to get torch glitch no matter what he does.
So,
If
are
you
we going to
freeze
go over
him or
getting
not.
2 spins before torch glitch, or is that? Not recommended, I guess. Okay.
I think you want to go to twitch.tv/bluntbunny. So here I know that I can only get 2 spins in. So I'm gonna back off here, and I'm gonna bait out his fire. Make sure that I'm in a good. Like you don't want to be standing around where you're going to light the torch when he shoots this fire bat at you.
I think what Emma's saying is, if you do turn him blue, don't worry about getting a hit in. Worry about getting torch glitch, and then kind of gauge where things are at that point.
Yes. That. E. Any other questions? Especially on Ganon, I guess, since we're here.
Did you go over 1-on-1 last time?
No.
Or like trident spin? I don't know if that's something you wanted to go over, but
No, not really.
okay.
there's a pretty good tutorial for that anyway. So.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Okay, nice. I actually don't know if there's a way to get rid of this. Not just
What? The
clearing.
black sword? Does that mess with anything? Like, does that?
It creates some lag.
Oh.
Oops. So one very, very small thing here that people may or may not know about. Whether you're getting... I don't know, Emma. Must be a bug code, I think. Whether you are getting powder or not, a very handy thing you can do is Flutedashing. And it achieves a few things. Number one, it actually bypasses the cooldown that you get for calling the bird. Like, usually if you call the bird, you have to wait a little while. Like, even if you're spamming the flute, like, it'll just be forever before he shows up again, because there's some eternal cooldown. I don't really know exactly how long it is, but Flute Dash, that gets rid of it. So the other thing is that obviously it starts a dash, so you can just start a dash with it. So let's say you're not getting powder. When you're getting the bird, calling the bird for the first time, if you do a Flute Dash and you call him with that, you will have a dash ready to start coming out of this cutscene. So as long as you're holding A at the end of this cutscene, your dash will continue charging up from before the cutscene itself, when you triggered it. So, very small thing. It's actually, I mean, it's arguably more important for when you're getting powder. So if you're getting powder, you're getting this guy from the south here. And so after he comes out of the shell or whatever, there's usually like a small period where you can't actually call him again, but if you Flute Dash instead, it will call him immediately. You can go get your powder.
Get your powder over here. Get your powder.
Yeah, just a very small thing. It can kind of come in handy. Like, say you're going to Death Mountain or something, and you end up getting squirrel blocked or something, but you still have your flute out. Sometimes it can be faster if you like recognize it instantly. Just Flute Dash and you'll call it again.
Dude, nice boulder dodges.
Thanks. Question for the queue. The Quick. How do you set up Mire Quickwarp? Okay. Okay, I'm assuming you're talking about the one right before the entrance, right?
I'm assuming, yeah, after you flew to 6.
So the way I personally do it, and the way that I see a good number of runners do it, is you'll charge your sword to the left here, and that's just so you can move straight back and straight right and left without moving. The nice thing about this Quickwarp is that you have iframes when you land there. I actually need a save state here. If I don't, because I don't have
You could save state on the way in. Is that what you're doing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just do this. No, let me not do that. We just load up the damn preset. This is such an awkward thing to show. Alright, anyway. What I look for is you basically want to be centered with Link. Like, Link himself is kind of like centered on the warp, is what I look for. I don't know if anyone has any better cues than that. But,
I have a cue with the hat, but it's kind of silly. But like there's like a little piece of the nub of the hat that hangs off the edge of the warp.
okay, yeah, I see what you're talking about. That's pretty good one. I kind of look at his shoes, and also kind of like in front of his body. Like, you can only see a little bit of the warp in front of his body. Like, if you know that he's covering up the entire warp, you're probably too far left, like this. I look for there being just a little bit of warp in front of him still. Bottom shadow, best cue to see if you're centered with the warp. DMD with the hot tips. Yeah, that's a good thing to look at. Like, here is still like a little bit left of center, but I think it still works fine. Yo, thanks, Eddie. So that's a pretty easy one. Okay, what is a good path for getting powder? How should you leave under the screen? Good question, good question. Oh yeah, that's another good thing. Is if you tap, like, say, well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be holding your sword out, but if you want to adjust to that warp, left and right, if you just hit left in A or right in A at the same time, if you're moving to the right, you're going to move 1 pixel at a time, and if you're moving to the left, you'll move 2 pixels at a time. That could be a good way to make small adjustments. That's the other thing about having your sword out, is just trying to adjust those small amounts that you move a little bit slower with your sword out. That can be a good for adjusting. Alright, so let's say you're getting powder. What? Okay. I was gonna say it's a requirement to do the spin speed, but it's really not. Let me give myself the Meowda. Meowda. Where's Meowda? Oops. Meowda. There we go. I'll just reflute here. Okay, so the main thing about this is when you drop the shroom off, whatever you do, don't take this bottom path. Just don't dash out here, because this guy is gonna just be a headache. He'll either be in your way, or he'll electrify and you'll hit him anyway or something. So this top route here is definitely the better and safer one to take if you are getting the powder. And then you can dash back here, and I think walking down here and dashing is actually pretty even. So, but if you want to be really hip, crap. Move the save state. You can actually drop the shroom off while you're holding your sword out here. You can get spin speed, hopefully, off of that. That is ultimately the best way to do it. But just doing dashes is totally fine too.
I see I've got here for the 123 strats.
Oh, your mic needs to be replugged, sir.
Yeah, the 123 strats that get powder.
The spin speed strat seems corrupt. It's probably slightly corrupt, but it looks heckin' cool. So one of the best spin speeds in the game, IMO. Just because it's off of such tiny stairs, you know. Something about the tiny stairs that get me. You know, Ematron, Buttatron,
But Metatron.
Butma. Come in with the big host. Okay, more questions.
I haven't heard from Buttspot in a while.
He's been uncharacteristically quiet. Take my luck as I have them.
Yeah, we would take it.
Hello?
Hey, that's much better.
Hey, I fixed the thing.
Good job, pro streamer. Audio file, Scrivo.
I blame Windows.
Rome, Extreme, and Human. Scrivo.
Okay, until a question pops up, I'm just gonna show more tiny things, small things, tiny tips.
For a second, I thought you were gonna be like, until a question pops up, I'm just gonna do a run real quick.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run the game.
Guys, just hold your questions for a little bit. Gonna knock out a speed run.
Streamer, is it true you can beat the game in less than 3 minutes?
Nope, that's a myth. Okay, next question.
Yeah, if you don't like to play the game and see the score, you can beat it.
Alright. So this screen up here.
Have you covered Zora's domain?
No.
Because that's a screen that I see a lot of sins committed in.
I'm pretty bad at it, but I can show you the cues that I personally use. So, but let's talk about this screen real quick. So the cool optimal strat on this next screen here is doing the 3 dashes, which is totally fine. But if you are struggling with that for one reason or another, a very easy, safe alternative that really isn't that much slower at all is to just change to the hammer and use that to kill the second guard up here. So your first dash, you want to basically just go as far to this tree as you can, and then hold left out of it, and then change to the hammer right here, and then kill this guy, dash up here, and dash down.
Hey, streamer, if I get to this screen and I happen to be low on hearts due to the overworld, is there anything that could help me recover some health quickly?
Yeah, if you turn the game off and load up another save file, you probably have more hearts. But if you want to stay on this screen and continue your speed run, I would advise bonking off of this tree right here on the right, and then getting the apples that come out.
It is worth noting that the way the apples bounce is random, so it's sometimes they just all bounce towards the guards, and there's nothing really you can do.
Yeah.
Beware.
Yeah. This is a safe and easy strat that I was doing for a very long time. The only thing that you lose out on is the really good pause buffer right here on this dash.
In fact, I would go so far as to say that knowing about the apples is a core element of gameplay.
Dang it.
Sir?
I can't get rid of him, guys. I tried. He just keeps coming back.
Don't worry, I have to go do some work in about 10 minutes, so I'll disappear.
Oh, is it related to something like this?
I gotta go put a diaper on.
Alright, I'm done beaming. Sorry.
Sir? I'm a big boy now.
Let's talk about Zora's domain.
Good segue.
Alright, so I'll just show, or attempt to show, the pathing that I use. which is not the most optimal for sure. But there's only one major thing that I do, I think, differently than most of the top runners. Oops. You see top runners jump in the water all the time.
You do.
Yeah. People wetting themselves. So there's the initial path through. You kind of have checkpoints to look for. So this is the first one. And then you want to start a dash right out of here. So here's the second one. You want to dash up here, up right here, and hold upright and walk around this bend right here. The thing that I do differently is you'll see a lot of runners dash here. You can dash like extremely low here and still not fall out. Pretty crazy, like how far into the deep water you can actually stand. And that's also true of this this dash up here. Like he's more than halfway in the deep water here. But those are just like tiny small optimizations. It's more important that you're just hitting like these major points. First few that I've... This is like one of the toughest turns. Going through this little patch right here.
Practice this differently. Do you know if this is optimal?
I explicitly said right before I started showing this that this is not the most optimal way to get through it,
Oh,
but this
sorry.
is just what I do.
I was reading something.
Yeah, like even that little reverse sea bend that you go around, you can walk pretty far into the pointy part of the deep water. It's pretty forgiving and lenient in those areas.
It's nice when you just hit the right line, you can just hold up left through it. It's nice because, like, I mean, you can kind of pick out your own visual cues, but there's little stuff in the water everywhere. Like these little water droplets. Like, this is kind of a big one that I look for. Second water droplet right here.
And if you do walk and jump in, it's probably a good idea to let go of your D-pad, because otherwise you can get this repeated jumping into the water animation. Just let go of your D-pad and figure out what direction you have to push. It's usually if you're holding a diagonal.
A lot of the times I do keep holding the same direction because I'm just so frustrated. I'm like, no, I shouldn't have jumped in there, and I'm just adamant that it should have worked. So I'm just going to keep holding the same direction.
I disagree, video game.
Yeah.
Oh, you calculated it? It's wrong.
One last thing I'll show about Zora's Domain is on the way out.
Yeah, on the way out, you can pretty much dash in the dark water.
Yeah.
Like, completely. Like, just Jesus.
So
that
this
shit.
this
Garbage. Sorry.
fire water droplet here is kind of the cue that I look for when I get down here to start my dash from. That was a little too high. That was not, though. Which is just insane. That's just ridiculous. This should
I like
not
honestly
be
I
allowed.
laugh every time I get it in a run. Like, yeah, I'm just like, this is stupid.
Nice game, yeah. And the other nice thing is that you don't actually have to hit anything to stop your dash here. Like, he comes to the end and he just stops. At that point, you could just hold upright, and you can actually start another dash from really low here. Also, it doesn't matter where you dash out here, because you're always going to pop out the other side in the same spot. So don't try to like get yourself centered on this or like over to the other side because you want to be farther over, because it's always going to spit you out in the same spot anyway. So yeah, that's about the extent of my knowledge on Zora's.
Is that true of all screen transitions like that, or is it specific to the
I
screen
want to say it
transition?
is, because I think any of like the pixelated sort of transitions that you go through, it always puts you in the same spot.
Wait, but okay, I'm not gonna get into specifics.
This screen sucks. But this pause buffer can help.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pause buffers in the game.
Questions?
I think my favorite pause buffer is the anti-water dash pause buffer.
Oh, okay. Took me a second. Alright, which one you're talking about? Alright, so something about this room in Thieves Town right after the gloves. If you have sword beams, it's never a big deal because you can always beam the jelly out of your way. But see a lot of people struggling on the dash up with handling the red jelly if he electrocutes. Something that you can do is just walk to the middle of the conveyor here instead of dashing to it, and that will make the timing of the room such that as long as the blue jelly down there doesn't electrify and you dash up in the middle, you can always dash to the red jelly no matter what. It'll be pretty much right at the end of his electrified frames or whatever. Just walk to the middle of this conveyor. I mean, if the blue jelly electrifies, there's really nothing you can do anyway, and you have to risk it because you have to wait him out. But if he's not electrified, how much faster is dashing at the beginning? I don't actually know. DMD. I can't imagine it being more than a few frames. If that blue guy electrifies, just pretty much screwed no matter what. You're gonna have to wait. But if he doesn't, but regardless of what you do, you should be walking to the middle. No, that's definitely not true, Shady. As far as I know. Are you saying when the blue guy electrifies, you slash 2 times in dash? Something like that. Gotcha. That's cool. Okay, like actually when you get to the middle though. Yeah, there you saw the red guy was electrified, but he was like right at the end of his frames. That's really cool. I like that, Eddie. Thanks, dude. Usually I would just like sit there, just kind of wait for his frames. Feel like I saw his frames run out, so but that's a much better way of handling it. So you actually have some sort of timing mechanism for it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Questions. I'm running out of tiny tips.
Oh baby.
It's easy, DMD. Get good RNG. Got some problems of the boss of this dungeon. Well, you are in luck, for we have covered it at great length on our other streams. So I'm going to post a bunch of links, and then you can check those out at your leisure. It messes up the formatting of this.
Whoa, Greenham bot. What the heck?
Oh, that was directed at the Savin.
Oh, fair.
Any special timing for dashing past Murder Dax? Okay, let me give you a link for that, because we covered that. Is it? There it is. I found it. Memes. Go links, yeah. The main thing with that bird dash thing is that you want to nudge the tree during your dash down, and that'll give you more room to actually start that dash left. But if you want to be absolutely safe, just go to the right of it and dash left. Yo, Timon, what's up, dude? This room is like very subtly complex. Like, it has swim lag and everything, and like you gotta start a dash really soon, then you gotta get good RNG. The main thing is not holding left until you're actually in the water.
Oh, that causes swim lag?
Yeah.
I thought the swim lag was caused by mashing. Before
Oh,
you get starting to mash before you
Yeah,
hit the
you
water.
also don't want to start swimming either, I'm pretty sure, but don't hold the D-pad either as you're jumping in.
Okay, so it's don't hit anything as you jump in.
I think
Okay.
so, yeah. Yo, Timon, thanks for the good luck, man. Ew, Jakey Numbers. What's up, my dude? I mean, for this particular one, I don't mash swim at all anyway. Like, I do exactly 2 swims. Very particular points. But yeah, this room just... I don't know, Eddie. There's probably not much I can tell you that you don't already know.
But yeah, all the movement at this, in this room, starting from when you start your dash, will impact getting past that spike properly. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, if you land up there on the platform and you see that you're obviously not going to get the dash, like, don't dash right into him. Just wait.
Yeah. And if you do start your dash late, like if you just don't start your dash early enough, or if you hit A too soon and you end up walking up like a tile or so before you start the dash, just know that you will be off timing and just react to the spike instead of trying to go up there.
For sure. There's one thing I wanted to show also in here. Not after. Okay, so if you have sword beams, this next room is trivial because no matter what the red jelly does, you can just beam them out of the way. But if you don't have sword beams, what are you to do if he does electrify? Start 2 dashes and the timing will work out such that he'll be done electrifying by the time you get through him. You're actually in line for the door. That's my method of handling it if he does electrify. I think other people probably like slash a few times and then go. No need to do a down input. Oh yeah, I guess that's...
Oh, he's talking about canceling. I always I cancel diagonally as well.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the few... I don't know why I do that. Like, all my other dashes, pretty much, I cancel diagonally. Okay, so Sabin walks directly up to him, and then dashes. So that's another good timing mechanism. Oh, well, that's fast, too. Okay. Yeah, just have some sort of timing mechanism, and, you know, make sure you do that consistently. The pod at the statue, yes. Let's do talk about that. So the easy way to do it is to hook dash to the statue over here. And that gives you a glitch state to where all you have to do is press A once and you'll pick it up. If you don't have the state, pretty sure all you have to do is just hit A twice. No. Yeah, you have to like wiggle on it. You don't get it after hitting it twice. So basically the glitch state just ensures that you pick it up pressing A once. I just hook dash to this pot here. I said statue, but you hook dash to.
Yeah, I'm so happy somebody found that hook dash thing because that pot
Yeah.
drove me insane before I knew about that.
Flash 2 times, hold diagonal till you hit the wall and start dashing. That's another good one. Without holding diag, just spam A. Everybody hated my down dash cancel. I'm never gonna do that again.
Oh, it's garbage day.
You sure you just spam A? Without holding diag, so you have to, okay, you have to be holding straight up. I see. Guess maybe you have to let go of the D-pad at some point.
I just mash buttons until he picks it up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's how I play fighting games.
Like, in my experience, I mean, what these guys are saying could be true, but with my experience, I have not found a consistent way to pick that up if you don't get the hook dash. So I literally just mashed the D-pad and tap A till it happens.
Yo, Griff, what's up, dude? To refill my water. 1 second.
I was actually going to friggin' link that in memes just now.
Beat you to it.
It's one of my favorite things.
Garbage day.
No!
I'm not sure I'm familiar with this. I have to watch this.
Oh, you must be.
I love how he holds the garbage can up.
And the guy shoots the can and the guy goes flying.
Oh, I have seen this.
Oh, man.
This is like one of 10 movies or something. There's so many of these Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. There's like a Christmas special, I think, too. Like,
Best is the guy's laugh at the end.
Double dash better
yeah.
than close hook shot? I'm gonna say yes. But I guess we can find out. Right, you just hook shot him and then walk, probably, I guess. Yeah, dashing is better.
I usually
like-
just do the double slash, but that can be hard to time.
Yeah. A little earlier than being right on. Yeah. Like 8-10 frames, something like that. Yeah, the thing about that is that people like slash at different rates. You know, so like 2 slashes at what BPM, please?
I think it's just like
Well, make
like
sure you
your
have your turbo on.
regular. I think it's just like your regular kind of slash, like your rhythm that you would use for like ball and chain or cold stare.
Okay, so
I think because I feel sometimes like you can definitely slash too fast. I'm pretty sure and still get like you got hit, you got electrocuted the last time.
right, 2 slashes, if you do them as fast as possible, would be close to a second, right? That doesn't work for me for some. Oh, but you want a diagonal after you slash. Okay, that's what Eddie was saying. That makes sense. Interesting. Do them slow.
Do them,
Do
but
them, but
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying. It doesn't matter because either way, you're still Link is still just stopped for those amount of frames. Good to know. Good to know.
no.
No?
not good.
Sorry. I was quoting I was quoting Garbage Day.
Oh.
Were you gonna say you're quoting Double Dash?
Yeah. Speaking of Double Dash.
This song is really loud. Louder than everything we're playing so far. Westway. Okay, more questions, please. Otherwise, I'm going to show you boring stuff like lag reduction strats. Use town.
For the love of God, somebody ask a question.
We know you're out there.
Hey, Jake's excited about lag reduction.
How can I save 1 frame?
Did you go over the backup to Tree Rupees? You
Yeah,
did last time,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Yep, 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 yep.
Alright, well. How to catch pendants. Okay, that's actually a good thing to talk about, I guess. I mean, it's only a matter of frames, but it's something that does show up. Pendants at least 3 times, and then crystals at least 7. So, no, well, you should all go to Jake's stream if you want to learn Gifted with Greenies. Alright, so let me do a horrible example of Armos real quick, and we gotta catch pendants. Nice. Definitely kill both of those guys, because that's good. I'm not gonna have enough arrows.
Did you say you were gonna go over both pendants and crystals?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just watching your Armos and it's great.
Okay, so with pendants, you want to catch them with Link's hat entirely below the pendant itself. You can actually catch these from like way further below the shadow than you think. Like, this is probably maybe a little bit low, but not much higher than this than you have to be. But catch them as low as possible. That's too low.
Yeah, you don't want it to bounce.
Yep, bouncing's bad. Definitely favor being higher than you think you need to be, but as low on the pendant as you possibly can be. And that applies for every pendant. The one quirk about Moldorm's pendant is that, unlike the other two, it always falls in the same spot. Like, this pendant falls like in relation to where you killed the boss. Since the camera was right here, it's always going to fall in that spot. But if I had scrolled the camera like up or down any further, it would be in a slightly different spot. So. Okay, for crystal, let's choose to fight blind.
No, you get banned. Banned.
Nice. Good catch.
Thanks.
It's my first one of those. What a moment.
Really? Aw.
Really made it as a streamer. Okay, so crystals are kind of weird because where you want to catch them depends on where the camera is when you kill the boss. So for most of the bosses, you tend to kill them with the camera scrolled pretty much as high up as it can be. And in those instances, you want the shadow of the crystal to kind of make a beard on Link's face. Basically, it's going to cover Link's face when it falls down.
Oh, baby.
Do you
Right
like
about
beards?
The way that you know you got a really good cutscene is you can see the distance in between the top of Link's hat here and the crystal. They're really, really close together. So that means you caught it in the right spot. Catching it really high, or let's see. Just catch it really low, like you would do for a pendant, right? Look how much space is between Link and the crystal. It's bad, okay? Don't do that. Now if you kill him at the bottom of the screen, then you want to catch it the same way as you catch the pendant, which is from as far below as possible. So you kind of have to pay attention to where you end up killing the boss itself. So it's kind of slightly different for each boss that you kill. When I do like the safe and easy Argus fight, pretty much it always ends on the bottom. However, just to make the crystal catch stuff consistent, what I do is go up here so that I make sure I scroll the camera up and I kill them at the top of the screen up here. And then you can catch it with the crystal covering his face once you kill them at the top of the screen. That's that science. Yo, Devdo. Asadu.
I remember I was messing with like a zero cycle, then dash up to the top of the room before he jumps, and then
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough if you're doing like, especially if you're doing the fire rod quick kill or something.
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
We fine.
Thank you, so butt.
There's all the science and videos on catching all the things, so. Glad you put a cap at the end of that, Jake. Alright, did I miss any questions during that? I don't think so. I'm gonna be right back, actually. You guys hold it down, okay?
Alright, we'll take it down. I can do it.
Somebody at work today was like, "Oh, do you want me to take that down for you?" And it like took everything in me to be like, "No, I can take it." Like I was like, "I can take it. I can take it."
Oh, that's awesome. You want to take it? You want to take it down?
To the ground.
You want to take it downtown? That's what I would have done, and she would have been like, "You're psycho."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
She would have been like, "Why would you go downtown? You don't it doesn't need to go downtown. It's just going to the office."
Man. Hey, does anybody have any questions while we're here?
Any questions?
Okay, I'm back.
We answered 0 questions.
Thanks for holding it down, guys.
Oh, hey, why do spin attacks happen sometimes during blind fight? The quick answer is you are holding your sword out and you charged it up, and then you let go of B while you were poking, so it causes you to spin. So just hold B a little bit longer, and that shouldn't happen.
Yep. Oh, but.
A long enough break from Greenham?
Yeah, seriously.
Rip.
Sorry, guys, I'll leave again.
Yeah, can you leave for longer this time so we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
time to answer questions?
Mhm. Wait a minute.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Okay. One thing that I did want to mention. There's a pretty horrible situation that you can sometimes get into during the second phase of the Helma fight. Nice, I got the black sword and shield again. Let's see if it causes crazy lag. Okay. Wait for him to do something. Alright, so if he ever pins you against the wall, like it looks like he may do here, you can actually charge your sword and get off a double spin. He didn't actually pin me against the wall there, but we'll just wait out until he actually does. I will prove to you. I'll walk around with my sword out though, because it's purple. Of course, he's just not gonna do it now. Oh. Somebody may have a clip of them pulling this off. But anyway, if he does pin you against the wall, you kind of want to be somewhat close to the center of him. You can actually get away with like moving around a little bit left and right, but you don't want to walk like directly into his face, obviously. But if you release your spin just slightly off center, you'll actually get a double spin if you are pinned against the wall. It's possible to bait the tail. That is good to know. Because
Well,
sometimes
this is
it
some
seems,
advanced PvE.
sometimes it does seem like But when does it actually determine where it's going to go? Because it seems like it's the last possible second before the tail actually comes out. Seems like you just have to... basically right after it lunges. That is really helpful, actually. I kind of just thought it was overpowered. Just always hit you, but it turns out it was just bad. How to still ding the helmet with the fireball RNG? Not quite sure what you mean by that. I guess what you mean is like while the fireballs are still exploding, like how to still do hammers. I'm definitely not the best person to explain that, because that is just kind of it's definitely a more advanced thing. The only thing I can kind of tell you is that the first fireball that explodes is random, but they do go clockwise from there. So really what you're trying to do is just judge the movement of the fireballs and what they're going to do, and put yourself in such a position that even if you get the knockback from the hammer, you're going to get knocked back in such a way where you're not going to run into a fireball.
Or an exploding fireball won't hit you.
Yeah. And
It's really not easy at all.
No.
And it's really more of a comfort and feel thing, like something you really need to kind of practice. To know like where the safe zones are exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just not going to be possible, at least without putting yourself at extreme risk, so... yeah, I mean, you know they're always going to explode out on the diagonals, you know, they're never going to explode cardinally, so... you should be able to at least align yourself with a cardinal, like a cardinal direction to them, and ensure that you're not going to get hit by one. But I would watch some people who are way better at this fight do the fight, because they're really good at that. After two... okay, I see. Santa. Yeah, that's really all I can tell you with that, Ninnies. I mean, them exploding clockwise was something that really helped me. I was trying to get better at that. Alright, so the turtle hallway before Helma. Okay. Wiggle room. 628 is really not that bad. I mean, the two major spots of Pod are, you know, the hammer jump and Helma himself. So I mean, you're practicing the right spots to get better at it. So, but just know that, I mean, if you get bad RNG with Helma, it's going to result in some sort of time loss, usually. Okay, I think I did cover this before, so I'll link that, but I will show it again. Wait a sec. Alright, so dashing into this room, the first cue that I use is right here, when Link's shield is aligned with this top line of turtles here. That's where I do the first hammer. But something I do is quick down left before I do the hammer. And it seems to help with covering more RNGs. Your second hammer, what everyone has been telling you is pretty much correct. It's a lot faster than you think. Right there is about usually where I do it. Link's shield is pretty much at the top of the torches here. If you do end up poking them like that, just charge another spin and put your back to the wall. because you know these top two guys are always gonna come together and come at you like this, so you can always just wait for them to come down, clean them up like that. Just trying to show like examples of how this room goes. Hopefully this is helpful. Oh, wait, what?
But at 7:51.
Oh, you're referring to the room after. Oh my. My bad. I just immediately assumed it was this room because this room is a pain in the ass, so. But yeah. This is what you're talking about. Just do this. Nice, thanks for that clip, Sabin. I definitely want to check that out. That sounds like something I need to practice and be more aware of. Alright, so I mean, hopefully this makes it clear whatever you were doing wrong. Like, I'm not sure exactly what you were doing. I guess you would have to be hammering like just way early to flip them back over or something. Yeah, you can walk a little bit up into them after the first hammer. Does that help, Rezo? Alright, cool. Yeah, it's really, I mean, that's just what I do. I'm sure there are other ways to do this room, but it's just what I've always done, and I don't think I've ever had an issue with even getting, like, even if you do flip that guy over, you're just starting another dash through these two, so it's really not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, minis, that's a good point. Yep. Thanks, Ninis. Yeah, that sounds like what could be causing the issue if you're waiting too long for the second hammer. man, everyone's contributions are important. Appreciate it. Questions. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm assuming you've seen the base bin, Jake? Highly recommend checking it out. Lots of good little nuggets of information in there. In the end, it takes a ton of practice and actually implementing all those little things and just being able to recognize when to use them. I don't know, Jake. I mean, Applestore's always been there. So does everyone know about how you cancel your dashes, dash along a pit? Fair point, Jake. So a weird little quirk of dashing along a pit is that in order to cancel said dash, you actually only need to tap a single direction. That direction can even include the same direction that you're dashing in the first place. Normally when you're dashing, if you're just holding like the direction you're dashing, it doesn't do anything. But as soon as you tap like another direction away from that, then your dash cancels. Particularly used here in Skullwoods for this dash because it goes along this pit right here. So when you get up to these bushes here to cancel your dash, you actually only need to tap up. Dash. Just less inputs you have to worry about. Simplify your life. It's also a good thing to be kind of aware of just kind of during different parts of the run. Spark Gamble. For instance, like, nice. Okay. So there'll be instances where you want to make sure, like, something that I do, and I think something a lot of people do is, like, when you... Away from these jerks. When I start a dash, I continue holding the direction I'm dashing in, because I find that a lot easier to cancel a dash just by, like, slightly shifting over to the diagonal, already holding the direction that I'm dashing in. But you don't want to do that when you are dashing along the edge of a pit. Here, for instance, keep holding up during this dash, it's just going to stop. And that's bad. Just one of those small things to be aware of. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but knowledge is power. Nice. Glad you liked it, Jake. Yo, Elm, what's up? Yeah, dude, no problem. While we're here, I'm learning things from these streams as well, so helpful for everyone.
Helper.
Yeah, fair. Also helps me get better at talking.
An important skill in some professions. Show some safe and easy things about this. Alright, so the optimal slash slightly more difficult version of this does the damage boost off the Popo here. It can be a little difficult and different just depending on what kind of boost you get at times, so it can be kind of tough to handle. And for a long time I definitely was not doing this strat, so another thing you can do instead of that is slash the Popo out of your way if you want and get a potential rupee drop, but you just kind of walk up to these stairs here and align with them, and then just walk and hold straight down. You pick up the pot. That's a really easy way to do this. It does take a little more damage, but it's a little more consistent. As long as you like go up to the stairs and walk down them.
Yeah, it takes an extra half heart.
Another thing you can do is, if you don't want to kill this Popo for some reason, I don't know why you wouldn't, but you can just hold down left and just...
You can walk under him too if you wanted.
Yep. Stairs method is pretty good. If you do take a lot of damage in this room, 2 heart pots are right here and here, in case you don't know about those already. Questions, please. If you got a strat in particular that you're struggling with, or a boss, or you don't know what to do if you die somewhere, or like health somewhere, low arrows, low bombs.
Have you talked about Zeldagamer Room while you're in Eastern?
Nope. Really.
I don't know if there's any like good strats.
I mean, best I can do is explain my approach to it.
Sure. Spark Gamble.
I mean, there is something in particular I would like to explain about that, so I can do that after ZGR. So what I do is I always walk to this middle tile right here, or middle column of tiles, right here. And regardless of what the bottom skeleton does, I just always fire an arrow down. Sometimes you'll hit them, sometimes you won't. A lot of times you will, so that's good enough for me. What this does, it, number one, can, kill them, but it also gives you time to kind of read and react to what else is going on in the room, so... you do see that he's going to go short. You'll be able to recognize that by the time you get to here, and then you can stop yourself from that arrow. pretty much even if you get like between these two columns right here, you'll know what's gonna happen. So you get good RNG, like this room is trivial. Like the thing that people struggle with is bad RNG. Let me find some examples of bad RNG and what I do. Like especially when they both go to all the way to the wall. Yeah. It's possible to get bad RNG now. Okay, here we go. So the bottom guy goes to the wall and I miss him. So what I usually do is, depending on where this top Stalfos is, like you're always going to be grabbing these arrows, so at least try to kill the top guy with your pot. But from here, after you kill that guy, I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying to track down the bottom Stalfos, especially if he went all the way to the wall, and especially if he's facing down like he is right now. What I think is a much better approach is to kill the top Stalfos with this pot and then wake up the red Igor and finish him off. And then by the time you've done that, the bottom Stalfos is probably going to be in a totally different position, and it may be in a better one than he's in right now. He's in a horrible one right now, bad spot, so I don't feel like there's any point to going and chasing him down right now. So usually I'll pick up the second pot and then try to use that to finish off the other Stalfos. But this is very much just a sort of a read and react room, so it takes a lot of practice. But yeah, that's just one thing you can kind of do in case of bad RNGs. I think it's just better to take out the red Igor first and then worry about these guys. Okay. Talk about Spark Gamble. Let's talk about actually what to do if you're not doing Spark Gamble, which if you're not confident in your amount of health throughout Mire, I wouldn't recommend going for this at all, and just don't worry about it. I mean, it takes a heart of damage, and at best it only saves like, I want to say like 20 frames or something, maybe not even that much, so really not that much of a save. But something I see people doing that kind of irks me is if you're not going to go for Spark Gamble, you should take this path. Because all you have to do with this path is, as soon as you see the spark come on screen here, just dash past them. Take this top path here, and then take the stairs out. Because that route is faster than if you go this way, and then just end up taking this top route anyway to avoid the spark. That's slower than just taking the safe and easy route.
For the safe and easy, another cue that you can use if for whatever, because the spark can do a weird thing where he just stays off to the right and spins in circles. As soon as Link is lined up with the blue peg, you can dash every time.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too. Does that spark get stuck sometimes too?
I think that's the one that gets stuck. I've seen it spin in circles and just not show up.
I thought it was this one at the end here, the same one that you go through for Spark Gamble. But maybe
yeah,
it's all of them.
Yeah, the blue peg is you can start your dash at the blue peg. It's earlier than waiting to see the spark, and it works every time.
That's a good one. Yeah, if you're not doing Spark Gamble, please do this route. If you are doing Spark Gamble, do this. Really, I mean, it shouldn't be called Spark Gamble. more so Fire Snake gamble, because if the Fire Snake is here on this bottom route and you can't take this bottom route and you have to go top here, then that's slower, as we talked about. So if he is there, it sucks. That's a bad gamble. So, but if he's not there, you have the chance to dash here and dash through the spark and potentially get boosted to the other side of him. That's really the only reason it's called Spark Game.
Where do you add the hookshot menu with the safe and easy path? Anywhere in this corner right here is once you enter the stairs and before you enter the door. Anywhere in there. The only place that you might want to add the buffer is if you're not confident in getting lined up with the block that you're hookshotting to.
That's
you
where
might
I
use
used to
that as a
use
menu
it.
buffer.
What I used to do was hold down right and just buffer to hookshot basically when I reach the edge here. Which is a little lower than you want to be optimally, but it's still a good spot. If you're not using the hookshot buffer there, that's a good spot for it. Oh, TM says even before that. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you're past that second wall and you start lining up with the peg. You don't have to be like fully flush with the peg, you just need to be at the peg.
Honestly, dude, for that bird dash, I mean, I think there is a free setup for it, but it's really not that important. It's like, isn't it just a frame difference or something? I don't know that it's really worth it, like, for the chance of missing the bird.
Yeah, that's the saddest thing when you just dash through the bird.
What you should know is that if you're just walking straight left, the bird will always pick you up. It's just when you're dashing that he has the chance to miss you. But yeah, I don't think that's really a super important thing to worry about.
Did you mention that if you're fluting to 1, just hold A?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, if you're
go.
fluting and the mountain is your destination, as soon as the bird picks you up, just hold A and you'll select the first flute destination on the first frame.
You can also get some D-pad inputs actually before it triggers. But that's risky.
I assume you went over stuff in Aghanim's Tower?
One other real quick thing. If Mire has gone really bad and you do not want to take the 3 hearts for the spike key, when you get to this room, you can get the backup key, which you dash down the left side of the room, walk up over the grate. There's a skull that's on the screen right now. You can push a button under that skull and get a key. If you really are low on hearts and you don't want to take the damage to get the spike key, it's good to know about that one.
It's funny because I showed this earlier, and I took 3 hearts of damage on the way from the shooter to get the key, and this time I only took 2. So. Improvement.
You're getting better.
Oh yeah, that is kind of a that's another good point actually. About the flute menu itself. Which, by the way, why isn't every menu in the game as good as the flute menu?
I know.
Holy crap, this thing is just so nice. So yeah, what Ninnies is saying is that you don't just have to hit left and right to change destinations. Like right now I'm just hitting left, but you can also hit up as well to go backwards. But you can get pretty fast menus just by doing that. If you have to go like from 1 to 6, for example, you can do left, up, left really fast.
You could do left, left, left really fast, though, right?
I mean, yeah, but given my understanding of the way how human physics works, you can definitely do 2 separate inputs a lot faster with 2 hands than you can do with 1.
Did you go over the arrow guard key thing in Aga's tower, that room?
Yes.
I think that was
Okay.
in the first. I think that was the first Q&A, and I learned how that works. The beam.
Really?
Yeah, that was a moment for Scrivo.
Wait,
I didn't.
what?
I didn't realize the beams would aggro the other guard.
Oh wait, I think I remember that, and I was like, huh?
I don't know if I mentioned Din-Din though. I think
Or
almost
circle of
everyone
pots?
knows
Did
that.
you do circle pots?
Nope.
Circle pots might be a good one,
Yeah.
because it can go pretty bad.
I think pretty much everyone knows the Din-In strat, but if you're not doing any other strat in this Gold Knight's room, or you're not comfortable with the more optimal strat, which is totally understandable, this is a quick and easy way to do it.
Yeah, and there are some. There's more to it than it looks like. One of the big mistakes people make in this room is they get hung up on the Din-Din meme. They start clanking against the door immediately, and while you're clanking on the door, if you do that, because serving up Din-Din, your sword doesn't charge. So if you sit there clanking the whole time and then you go and try to spin, you'll just drop your sword. And it's also important to move up to aggro them and then move back down.
Yep.
As opposed to, I see a lot of new people just hanging out at the door, and then it takes 10 years for the guards to make their way on down.
Yeah. So definitely sit up here when you first bait them, and they will come to your position a little bit faster. But yeah, once their feet touch, you can go up and release that spin. But yeah, definitely don't sit here clinking against the door because your sword won't charge in time. Blup.
And don't stay high the whole time.
Excuse me,
Wait.
sir? You
Don't,
know what's streaming?
don't
Yeah.
stay away from the door the whole time, because the left guard has a chance of spinning. He might start his attack sooner,
Yep.
just because of how the room is set up.
Yep. Here you go, Chalmers. You, my dude. Later, butt choms. Alright, let's talk about Circle of Pot.
Oh, since we're in Aga's Tower, what not to do, the Dark Bridge Room, and I understand and appreciate the irony of me saying this. Don't dash 3 times. Just walk.
Yeah.
Just walk.
Unless you need this rupee over here for some reason, there is absolutely no reason to be on that side. Yeah,
Yes,
just walk.
yes, it is technically faster to do the 3-dash strat correctly. Nobody does it correctly, except like 5 people in the world. You are not one of those 5 people. Just do this walk. How many things can the blue guard there at the top left do?
There's only you that you need to worry about. I want to say he can be in like two main spots. Like he can be right down here, like when you first go up, like exactly like this. And in this instance, you can just walk directly past him. But if he is on this left side over here, generally you just want to slash him out of the way. And he'll either fall off or you'll have enough time to get past him. Yeah, if he's over here, generally I just slash him. And if I have to slash him twice to kill him, so sometimes once is enough to give yourself time to get past. Alright. Ooh, that was hot. Oh shit. That was not. Oh, you want to double dash on the RNG where he stays on the right. Okay. That makes sense. So like you would dash up and then dash right out of the room. Alright, anyway, circle of pots. Get there. Okay, you're not necessarily going to have... A lot of times you'll already be on the boomerang here because you won't have sword beams. So unless you're doing sword beam strats, I wouldn't really worry about it. If you, for some reason, don't have the menu, it is nice to use the menu inside the Circle of Pots room, but regardless, you're going to be judging the RNG of the right guard and what he does. So, pretty much in every instance, you want to pick up the right pot first. The only time it's actually faster to pick up the left pot is if the right guy ends up going down, like he's doing right now. But the safe one to do is just to always pick up the right pot first. So if he's walking left like this, there are two things that he can do. He can either completely ignore you, or he will aggro, in which case you need to boomerang him to stun him so that you can actually have room to throw the other pot to guard. So let's find out what he does. So he aggroed, so I have to boom him, and now I can throw the other pot at this guy. You want to make sure you boom him pretty early and not wait until he's like in the middle, because then you won't actually have room to throw the pot at. So all you're doing really is just reading the right guy, seeing what he does. If he goes down, obviously you're free and clear. Now here, I waited way too long to boomerang him. Now he's in the middle, and I'm screwed. So, best thing to do in this case, though, just kill him, get him out of the way. Kill that guy however you have to. Make sure you don't throw the boomerang early at him, because you'll stun him. And then if you don't have beams, your sword actually can't reach him from here. And you have to walk inside here and kill him. So you don't do that. Another thing you can do is pick up the other pot too fast after you throw the first one. Like right there, you saw it just exploded and it didn't actually hit the guy. So you want to actually a little bit of a delay in between throwing and picking up the next pot. It's late. The RNG where he walks past you, basically, you just have to hesitate and just recognize that he actually is going to walk past you. And you'll be sitting there holding the other pot, and you just let him walk past until you can throw the other pot at him. Like there, he didn't aggro on me, probably because I didn't throw it. But yeah, this is a tough room. Do consistently well and read and react to. That's why it is nice, like if you do have the buffer, still boomerang to use it in this room. Oh yeah, smashing a pot by picking the next one. It does happen, yeah, especially if you try going really, really fast. Yep, you heard it here first, Ninny. Okay. More questions? Anything else on GTower specifically? Anywhere else? TRock though. What you got for TRock, Ninnies? Pokey small key to big key, then double pokey. That's quite a chunk. Using spins, okay. Hopefully is that Blunt's video that you? Yeah. Yeah, Blunt's video is absolutely the best for double pokies. And then the thing that I linked was when we went over it the first time in the Q&A, but just some general things on them for everyone. Right preset. In general, you want to spin them from the side, not from below. Because what you'll end up doing is if you try to spin them from below, you'll end up poking them a lot, which isn't going to kill them. Poke spin just doesn't do enough damage, so make sure you're spinning them from directly from the left or the right. And you want to kind of release your spin as they're moving into you, not away from you. But yeah, for this one in particular, you see a lot of people definitely trying to spin it from below like this, and they end up poking it like that. So you're going from the left or the right. But yeah, those other videos we linked should be able to give you the knowledge that you seek. And then for double pokies, if you happen to have beams, one thing you should definitely not do is slash down at them, or really slash anytime your beam is going to hit a pokey. That's just going to lead to bad times. So that's one reason that you want to have your sword charged going into the room. But when you re-slash for the other one, slash away from him. Don't slash down at him to charge your spin. Yeah, and like Eddie said, a lot of the double spins are really actually difficult to save time with, over just spinning them twice. But really, the perfect one is the main one you obviously want to worry about. Best RNG for Pokeys too. But if you have any specific question, user, let me know. This room obviously has 4 different RNGs. 2 on this side are basically the same way. You don't really have to worry about those much. Those are the easy ones in my opinion.
Not to jump back 30 seconds, but I couldn't get to the microphone. For that double pokey room, one thing that I found helpful, if the slash before charging to enter it, slash up and back into the room, so that when you do re-slash to do the other one, you don't accidentally fire a beam down into the room. Because otherwise you have to move up before re-slashing, and sometimes you go too fast.
Yep. All good options. Well, I mean, you could potentially get a fairy drop.
Or it's possible that you just powdered for anti-fairies a few rooms earlier. Did you go over that other Pokey one? Did you go over the bottom left?
No. But I did link the video
Oh, good.
where we did earlier. It should cover it if anyone needs it.
Did we go over Peg Puzzle in the, well, not the, like the cane block room in the prior videos? So that people aren't
that
doing...
puzzle. I thought you meant the
No, the one
yeah,
before
you want to do
Trinex.
the right one, then the top one, then the left one.
Sir? Sir?
Yeah.
Am I being patronized?
Yes, I did go over this, but it's actually definitely worth going over again. So, you don't want to do the difficult gain dash strat in this room. This is an easy strat that I highly recommend. Really not that much slower than the cane dash strat either. And you get
And
a
if
bomb
you need
out
a
of
bomb.
it, so you can skip the one at the front of TRock, which is nice. But you do want to place the block slightly up and left to this crystal switch. I believe what this does, what I've been told, is it actually helps manipulate the anti-fairy over here, that he won't ever screw you over. But yeah. If you're missing the cane dash at all, a very easy one with way less moving parts. Does everyone know what to do if you die to Trinex? Like, what path to take? Really, the only thing you need to know is that you take the top tube.
I think you take the reset button path.
I was gonna see resets on the right, my dude.
Well, I would hope that you're not doing that in the tournament, but I would understand if you were doing it in another situation.
Mirror jumping into the back door is also an acceptable answer.
Yeah.
Did you cover the Trinex fight at all in the
Yes.
second? Okay.
Yes.
And the whale-known Shale?
The whale-known
Yeah.
shale. Sure did.
Cool.
Yeah, I definitely encourage, if anyone missed any of the sessions, go back and look at the VODs. I put timestamps for pretty much every topic that we discuss, so you can jump around to
Jump around.
whatever you want to find out.
Jump up, and get down.
The ground.
To
Downtown?
the ground.
I think we're devolving into memes.
After Big Key. Okay, so who wants to reduce some lag? I do.
No.
Oh, we're
So
finally
first,
lagging
the
these
first thing
down?
you do,
Go!
you Google ZSNES. And once you've installed ZSNES, congratulations, you've reduced all the lag.
Yeah. Alright, so for this screen, you may notice that after you get up these stairs and you do this dash over here, sometimes you get a horrible amount of lag. There's a way to avoid that, and all you have to do is judge what this fire snake here is doing. So if he goes pretty much down immediately like he's doing right now, he's just bailing out right now, you are fine to go up here and start your dash immediately after you come up the stairs. However, if he hangs around up there like he's doing right now, move up a little bit before you start your dash right. Will be less lag. Here I'm just good to start it. Start.
So seems like there's still some lag there, but it definitely is not as much.
Oh yeah, I mean you're always gonna get lag because of all this shit over here. That is always on screen, I think.
Yeah.
As you're dashing up to the stairs, but it's just after this point.
That's
where the
cool.
lag
I didn't know
is. But yeah, just walk up a little bit before you start your dashing. Super tiny. But everyone can do it. You know, it's not like a difficult thing.
Even me?
Scrivo, even you.
No.
No.
Hey,
You guys
listen,
know who
I
you're
knew-
talking to?
I knew about Pyramid Quick Hop. Don't. That's far more than the 19 lag frames.
That's what got me to 126. I credit that and that alone.
Oh, you did do the pyramid quick hop in that one. Good, good.
Yeah.
That was the key.
I wouldn't say twice as much time, TM, but you're losing a little bit by walking here, yeah.
It's not much.
No, it's not much at all. They're pretty even.
If you start your dash even 1 frame early or 1 frame late, then walking beats it. Was how I timed it when I did it. Because if you're late, you're gonna nudge that corner, and if you're early, you're gonna have to walk right a little bit more anyway.
Speaking of walking things, I mean, this actually may be a good option. I mean, it's probably better to start it on the left side, I guess. I mean, you gotta cross the same distance left to right anyway, right? A lot of lag because that guy shot. What? Yeah, really not that big of a difference. So walking there is fine too.
It's
another-
totally fine.
Dashing on the right side might be safer. Yeah, because then the fire snake at the end there won't be on screen as long, right? So it may be actually safer. So something that I've been timing a lot recently is this dash here that a lot of people do, this dash left here in Torches 2 in Ganon's Tower. This is another
Nice.
this is another dash that's really hard to actually save time with. A lot of times you'll end up canceling it in the wrong spot, like way late, like this, way early and missing the fire rod. Or sometimes you won't start your dash at all after shooting this fire rod, and you'll just stand there like a dope for a little bit.
I thought technically if you were going to do that dash, you should be rod dashing to get the bottom right torch.
Well, no, because then you still have to wait for the rod to finish its animation. I think it's the same as assuming that you start your dash relatively soon after actually.
Wait,
riding.
can you rod dash and then
No,
look down for it to fire?
No, you're right. I'm thinking of another way to do that room. I'm thinking of
Yeah,
something
hopefully
else.
that's showing up
If
on
you
the...
you can do top right, bottom right, then you should be item dashing.
Oh. But anyway, don't do any of these stupid things. Here's the point.
Don't do dumb stuff.
Yeah,
Walk.
top right's a dumb strat.
Just walk this part.
And you can pump. Did
And
you
you
say
can
that?
even pump. Yeah, along
Don't
if you
pump.
really want
Don't
to.
do that.
But
Nobody
Just
cares about
if you're-
pumping.
If you're gonna pump, don't walk yourself down the stairs.
you can't. I'm
Can
pretty
you
sure.
You can't.
If you do it wrong,
Well,
you-
if you stop
if you
holding
wobble,
left.
if you wobble, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you're really, really bad at pumping, don't try it, I guess. But
So, can you still make the under
You can
under
the
over,
spark?
Bottom right.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can. Absolutely.
I've timed this room to be within like probably like a 3 frame difference of dashing and walking, where I got dashing 3 frames faster, but it's way less consistent. So a lot more consistent. It's a lot, probably on average, faster if you walk because it's so much more consistent.
Yeah, and like TM said, I don't know if it's actually showing up on input display that well, but you can just hold down right out of these stairs and Link will instantly face down. You can just start walking immediately. Yeah. Another good spot to not dash. Difference is very tiny. Another
one, since you're in the vicinity, one other beginner thing that you might want to know about if things have gone exceptionally poorly and you're getting to Aghanim 2 and you don't have any hearts and you don't have any bottles but you got full magic, it is perfectly acceptable to channel the old school MCR and cast Ether or spin attack the Helmas on that Conveyor Hellway, because more likely than not, they will drop a fairy.
Yeah.
And it's better than dying, especially in a race. You can usually just, since you can spin attack them even through their shell, you can charge your sword and just wait for them to come to you and spin. Just make sure that you're not so close to the door that the spin recoil takes you into the stairs.
I got a single heart.
Well played, video game.
Yeah, that's totally
Sounds
an
about right.
option.
If you do Ether, make sure that you keep an eye on your magic.
Oh my god, I forgot how much of a seizure that item gives me. Sorry.
Same. I had to look away from the screen, like when I
yeah.
open up Mire, or like
Guess
when
I
I
should
get
have
the
given the
medallion.
warning before I used it.
Like it hurts my eyes. But yeah, I guess in that way you'd probably would either have to be very careful with your magic on Ganon or use the lamp.
How do you dash straight through the door after Boldorm 2? The easiest thing in NMG, if you have you're gonna have the hook shot out, so you can just kind of walk into that room and use your hook shot to nullify the first Helmasaur, and then just watch the bumpers and dash straight up the middle.
That's not what he's talking
No, I
about.
think he
Talking
means
about the DoorDash.
the DoorDash.
That I got you.
Okay, so for the DoorDash, it's really not that big of a deal, but it is super simple, so might as well show it. So, as you're pushing this block, obviously you hook through it. And then after that, you start holding down left. And then as soon as you see Link get below this block right here, start a dash, and you'll hit it every time. What I do is I actually, I keep holding down left a little bit after charging my dash just to make sure that I don't change Link's movement pattern by like accidentally hitting a straight left or straight down. But that's just like a more of a placebo thing.
I did that once, TM. Before we knew what it was.
Was that like one of the first in meta champs? Or, yeah.
That was a
think
Metachamp, wasn't?
No, Metachamp was when I ran out of arrows on Ganon. I didn't know how to do tempered sword strats.
What a time to a Metachamp.
Yeah, I mean, because I was like 4 minutes ahead of PB, and I was like, oh yeah, like we got this, and then I went to shoot him, and then nothing came out, and I was like, oh fuck.
But yeah, for
So-
this room, I would recommend none of that hookshot stuff that was being talked about. And I would just hold left.
Well, you could do what I did in my run the other day and walk into the spikes at the bottom of the screen.
Ah, that's an option. See what those guys are up to, huh? Hold
Doesn't
down.
help.
Hey guys. Got some nice iframes here.
Nice no EG strat.
It wasn't a meta champ, it was actually the second meta champ.
That's the no EG strat for the DoorDash. Oh shit, I missed. Flashed earlier. Oh wait, you have to... As you're pushing it, you slash? No, what the heck? Weird. Hit me with those hot, spicy questions. I'm gonna go for probably like another half hour or so at most. I'm just gonna practice Saga too if you guys don't have any questions. You definitely don't want to see that. This is a lengthy fight. One interesting thing about this screen while you're digging up the flute, something a lot of people do is use the
Dig
buffer.
multiple
Use the buffer to mirror to check this Quickwarp position right here. But ink sprite. Something interesting is that let's say you do get the Quickwarp here. Can't move straight up. Oh, you can. Sorry, you can move straight up. I thought if you got the Quickwarp, you couldn't move straight up and just dig. You had to move like at least a little bit left. Anyway, the most important part of this is that you actually don't have to move like way to the left of this spot. You can just move straight up, and you don't even have to change directions. Like, Link is facing up right now. It's kind of hard to see because of the sprite, but he is. But if you just press Y, Link's going to dig to the right, even though he's facing up. As long as you're slightly left this spot, he'll dig the correct one. But if you think you're too far right, you don't have to move very far to the left. And from here you can just move straight up. Just hit Y. Pick it up.
I didn't know where most people went for that Quickwarp, so that's cool.
So a Quickwarp has every Quickwarp you get saves you about half a second. And it has to do with how the camera is aligned when Link is entering one of those warps. And so by entering it in a very specific camera position, it actually shortens the cutscene of you mirroring between worlds. If you have the practice hack, you can actually just go to features and turn on the Quickwarp indicator. And then you'll see here in the top left, like below the item indicator, when the camera is in a good spot for a Quickwarp. So here's a good spot, but when the camera shifts, it's not a Quickwarp anymore. And the Quickwarps are kind of on a grid. I think they happen every 8 pixels. Yeah.
And it's not Link's position.
Yeah. So there are multiple Quickwarps on every single screen. And there are some ways to enter a lot of the warps in the game where you actually get the Quickwarps for free, which I went over last time, and I just linked right there. There's a bunch of free ones in the game. You don't have to really be aligned like anywhere specifically before getting it. You can just walk in from a certain spot because it always sets the camera to the right position. So another small thing on this Usain Bolt screen where you get spin speed. There's a pretty good cue for when you're moving. To where you will most likely not get hit by Usain every time. So it's this flower right here, this little patch. If you run along here and touch this flower right here, you're gonna manipulate this guy up here to where he's not gonna bother you. Touch the flower and don't move like a complete jackass like I just did after that, and you should be fine. I'm nudging everything. It's the Quickwarp indicator, it's distracting me. Yeah, touch the flower.
Don't go up the stairs.
Don't try to return the book yet. That time.
Because you still need it.
Yep, you're gonna want that later on.
And you don't have enough rupees to cover the overdue fees anyway.
I've only been gone for like... How long would it be from here? Half an hour or something?
$9? $9 won't cover the overdue fees? Come on, man. Overdue fees are always like 12 cents.
Well, I think we have to have a conversation about exchange rates. Do you think the flippers cost $500 or 50?
The rupee is strong right now. So.
Maybe Zora is a librarian.
The lore is deep.
I mean, do you think a red sword costs 10 cents?
No, it's the discount because you just saved the
$1?
frog. It's the discount because you just saved the frog.
Alright.
And so is it 500 because you were probably murdering a bunch of little Zoras leading up to him?
Well, I mean, he murdered one of his own kids to give you his feet.
That's the
What a
murder
great
tag.
story.
I had to murder one of my own children to give you these. So you owe murder tax.
And he puts a price tag on it.
Baby shoes for sale, never used.
Alright, you guys have anything?
Are we straight memeing now? Is that what we're supposed to do?
I have no objections.
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's so funny because I always have like really little questions whenever I'm running, and I'm like, I should figure that out, or I should ask somebody about that, and then I never remember what they are. But they happen so
Can we
often.
just like look through the menu and see if it triggers anything? 'Cause I don't really know.
Take it down downtown. I get around.
We've covered a lot of shit over these sessions.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, show for show.
I don't know if we can do too many more of these.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to get your PBs in.
That too.
I don't have to count
Did
to
we talk
know
about,
I'm worth a billion.
taking it down?
You know
By that
what
I mean,
bigger number. I am worth a gillion.
Land molest strats at all?
Downtown.
Sort of, but no. I linked the paste bin and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yo, Jakey numbers. Dropping the hot 9 bits. Hashtag
He just
power
wanted
play.
that second place cheer
It's in
slot.
first place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, first place.
Yeah, because Mutt did 8.
Nice, dude.
Oh,
he
cheer to
got-
take number 3.
Alright, so Beetles. We've kind of gone over. I poorly demonstrated the ACM strat. And I'm probably still not better at it.
Rolling out.
Later, dude. But yeah, this ACM strat is the safe and easy one, and I would advise if you're struggling at all with this room to get it consistent, just do that. I think you have to delay a little bit more there.
But
Man, I am so bad at this strat. I can't do the easy strat. I don't think I've ever actually practiced it, but
it's because
Um,
there is timing involved, so you can't like rush it, and you have to react to RNG too.
Just quit
Just
going
like
so fast.
Beatles.
yeah. In my
God
nature.
Freaking Beatles. Goddamn
Yeah.
Beatles.
I like the Beatles.
So yeah, just wait till he's in a good spot to slash him. Don't rush it. Take your time. The optimal strat is a little tougher, and you also have to react to RNG,
Yeah.
including D-pad RNG.
Yeah. Oh, D-pad RNG is my favorite.
The strats. I was just practicing this earlier today too. I missed.
Do you know what the Japanese strat is that TM's talking about?
No, I know a good version. I know Scudge's version, which is another good one. Barely know
I
ACM.
love Scudge's version, dude.
So yeah, for this strat, you want to hold straight right coming into the room, and then start holding diagonal shortly thereafter. After you get past the point of stair lag, depending on what this middle beetle what this middle beetle does, determines how you want to slash him. You can either be fast or slow. Oh, that's a Japanese strat. I've seen Joe do that strat, TM. I didn't know that was originally a Japanese strat, though. Anyway, you want your slash to connect with that beetle in such a way that you're hitting the switch also. Which is based on a lot of different things, like his position, where your position is when you actually slash him, etc., etc. So, it takes some grinding to actually recognize the RNG itself and then react to it appropriately, and obviously I'm still not 100% at it.
Paused at the coolest time.
Really, I think the most important thing is figuring out what to do in this room when shit goes wrong. The important thing is just not to panic. have some backups in mind for what you want to do if you miss certain spots. Beetles. Don't fall down the hole. Just Revo strats.
Bonus if you fall down multiple holes.
Yeah, you also kind of have to judge what this top right guy is going to do as well, because if he comes at you quickly, you want to pick up this left pot, or right pot, I'm sorry, first, and kill him on the right side of the switch. But if he delays, I think it's better to kill him on the left side of the switch, in which case you actually want to pick up the left pot, which I think is Scudge's strat that he may do for every RNG, but I am bad at it.
I think if he does do it for every RNG, it's just because the movement's not as awkward around the pots.
For sure, yeah. It
Like
does
trying to fit
seem-
under the switch and pick up the right pot is like just
Yeah,
really
because
awkward sometimes.
you naturally get aligned to it by moving between this pot and the switch itself. So it's easy to just turn down and pick up that pot. So that would make a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, this pot right here is so easy to Sean cast. Is that the LTTP for HTTP pin strat? That one's amazing.
Japanese.
See how you do that.
Oh, that's cool. Huh.
Yeah, hit the switch a billion times. Okay, sorry, Owasi, I think I didn't read your question. When can I press A after a screen transition or entering a door? Because sometimes I find myself just standing after, even after pressing it. Okay, first what you should do is always hold a direction. Unless... The only exception to that is if you're trying to not move out of a doorway in order to get a key dash. But in every other instance, you should always be just holding the direction that you're going to end up dashing in, because exactly what you just described is going to happen. Sometimes you're not going to time it properly, and you're going to end up wasting some frames just standing there because you haven't started a dash yet. So
It's also better, like, canceling stair lag. You don't want to be holding directions if you're wanting to cancel stair lag. Coming out of the stairs.
Wait, what?
Like, if you're coming up some stairs,
Mhm.
like in Desert, for example, you don't want to be holding down when you're coming out of the stairs, so you get stair lag. Like, you want to be able to... That's just another example of
Yeah.
when not to hold a direction out of
sorry.
the door.
Yes, that's also another exception. But yeah, just make sure you're holding the direction that you're going to be dashing in during those transitions, because at least even if you don't start a dash, you'll be moving in that direction already. Probably the reason it happens a lot is because not every single transition in this game takes the same amount of frames. They actually can differ in some areas depending on what kind of transitions they are and what kind of walls divide them, I think. So some of them actually end up taking a little bit longer than others, and can kind of throw you off if you're used to the other timing. So to offset that, yeah, just make sure you're always holding the direction. Oh, another small thing about this is when you are walking with this pot to go kill this guy, make sure you walk along the edge of this pit here, because it will restore your normal walking speed. Otherwise you walk really slow.
But don't fall in the hole.
Yep.
Unless you're Scrivo.
Then fall in multiple holes.
Scriva taking it down.
Good.
He's taking it down when he falls in the hole, down to the ground. Okay. Most of the questions I think about when I'm doing runs and stuff are probably like really, really precise, like little things though that we probably shouldn't ask here anyway.
Yeah. Hopefully everyone knows about this safety switch.
Check it out.
But if you're just unsure at all, hit that switch so you can have access to the heart pots underneath Moldorm. And a good thing for races as well.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know, it's maybe something you've gone over, but is there like an easy Mire 2 strat?
An easy one? Not really, no.
Obviously, it's not going to be as fast, but
I don't know one anyway. Like, maybe there is
Okay.
one. I mean, Jake, what's more shameful? Hitting that switch or dying to Moldorm? Or dying on your way up to Moldorm? Or falling off at Moldorm and dying to one of those beetles down there?
Yeah.
I think that maybe is a little more shameful.
Dying to one of the beetles is pretty funny though.
It's pretty...
Like you fall down onto a beetle. Or you fall down and like dash and hit a beetle. Pretty good stuff.
Both pretty shameful. I mean, if it's a race, though. Pro tip, don't
Maximal.
cancel stair lag entering betting zone. Why is that, Jake? You gotta move left anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know of any easy Mire 2 strat, honestly. Like, I don't even do the absolutely optimal version either, but this version is still difficult.
like I know it's as simple as just going around and killing everything, but I didn't know if there was like an easier to execute Mire 2 strat, because, you know, the ones most of the top runners use are very precise and difficult.
I feel like this easier version of it, like with some practice, you'll definitely get it down. I think. I mean, you're basically slashing everything except that Wizrobe on the right, right?
Yep. And then
So make sure you hit him first when you dash up there, and just slash everything else.
there's a little leniency kind of in the order in which you do things. Slash the left wizard first if you want to. Usually, though, the first thing I do up there is shoot the fire rod right.
Yeah.
If you don't cancel, you can nudge against the pot rather than bomb. How can that not be true if you're moving from the same Y coordinate if you're just holding straight left to cancel stair lag? Or does it nudge you out of the door? I think I understand what you're saying.
There's a question there as well for the Ice Palace moving floor.
Oh, okay.
Strat. A good strat for that.
Basically, you're saying if you don't move out of the door at all, you can cancel your dash on this frame here.
Oh, you'll bonk against 4 pixels. You'll bonk 4 pixels lower than what you normally would if you're, yeah.
And this is not the same Y coordinate if you just move out of it? I don't feel that's the case. Let's see. And you're at 483 no matter what. Or am I just misunderstanding what you're saying? Or not? It's whether you're on an X course. Really? That goes against everything I know about movement in this game. Okay.
No, what he's saying is
I see what you're saying now. Okay.
if you don't cancel stair lag, the pots are, the edge of the pots is
I get it
above
now.
the edge of the rail,
Yes,
so
yes,
you
yes,
have
yes.
another 4 pixels
Even if you do cancel.
before you bonk. So, yeah.
We are on the same page now, sir. I am indeed just an idiot. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Today I learned. Thanks, Jake. Alright, let's talk about Ice Palace Conveyor Room, which definitely not very good at. I've recently started trying to do the best strat in here, but let's try to give general pointers. I don't know, really it's just take your time and like don't do any more movement than you absolutely have to. But this room just sucks. Like unless you're doing this strat where you nudge off the spikes, and even that has its own pitfalls.
It's just a room that takes a lot of practice and getting used to reacting to the conveyor and things like that.
Because movement on the conveyor, especially when you're moving against it, is just horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Especially when it can change directions whenever the heck it wants.
And definitely a room that takes some getting used to. I mean, this strat does help, but obviously it requires that you have sword beams and then that you're willing to take this damage here. Really isn't a big deal because you get these hearts back. So. I don't know, it's hard to like give too many generic tips.
I mean, the tip that I give people is take it slow.
Yeah.
Especially if like you're not experienced or don't have a lot of practice.
Yeah. I still take damage here all the freaking time.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to take damage there.
Oh, here's another tiny tip. Don't just dash out of this right here, because I think you get a little bit of lag from these guys popping up. But if you just tap up an A and start your dash, you won't get that. I think this is one. 12? 3-0 something. 306. It's like a frame different or something. You know about the sword beam strat I was talking about earlier for penguins? Where did you mention? I don't think so. How to save 7 frames in Penguin Switch Room in Ice Belt. Because your dash will be flush with the stairs versus nudging it. Okay, yeah, that does make sense. penguin switch. So you mean instead of the spin, you can tap down and slash. Okay. At what point? Oh, okay, there's like just a certain timing that you're... Later than that. Whoa! Right after the fourth line. Wait. Okay, I was gonna say the fourth line's like way low. What do you hit after you slash? Like, go back to holding right? Yeah, I did, Jake. Get you that link. How do you stop yourself? Can save 7 frames. Dude, that's really cool. Wow. Yeah. And you just have to hit A at the right spot to... Yo. That's cool. My best time for this, dude. Yeah. It's not like the other strat is completely free from risk either. Penguins won. Oh no. 531 apparently is my best. Here we go. I just tied my best. That's really cool, dude. I might play around with that a bit. Okay. Well, unless there are any other questions, I think we might wrap it up here. You got 516? Holy crap, man. A good one to grind. Ice 2 is a really fun one. Yay. Yeah, I'd say we're gonna call it there then. Thanks everyone for showing up. Thanks especially to you guys helping out and answering questions. So thank you, Emma, Deeds,
Anytime, dude.
Scrivo, Mutsky.
Yeah. Well,
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you for putting these Q&As together, Q&A streams.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I think they've been super helpful for people, so.
I've learned a shitload too, actually. So
Yeah,
Super helpful
same.
for me. Yeah.
I don't want to sound selfish or anything, but
I did a pretty damn good job, you know.
I like it. I take it. You know.
Don't forget to submit your PB